Call to order the Parks Committee meeting for Monday, October 27th, 2025 at 4 p.m. If we could stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Clark. Here. Easker.
Here.
Kern.
Here.
Lopez Serraro.
Here.
Teichel.
Item number 4, approval of minutes from the previous meeting, September 22nd, 2025.
I so move.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? I'm an aye. Carries. Item number 5, public comments. Is there anybody in the audience that'd like to give public comment? Go ahead. Please state your name and address for the record.
Lisa Beck, 1808 Cortez Lane. Just a couple questions on the Kennedy Park project. I'm not sure whose purview the farmer's market falls underneath. I had a couple of questions. The first one I had was on some of the traffic and parking. So I live on Cortez, and I don't know, Michael might know, but my backyard, so it's Coronado, Cortez, and Altaberti, I think it is. So if I walk out my back porch and I kind of go through somebody's yard, I can cross the street and I'll be right at the water park there. So I'm super close. But you can't really park on Alderson or Jelnook. Those are two no parking areas. So if the Kennedy Park, the farmer's market is gonna be there, how is that gonna affect everybody's parking? And part of my concern is, I'm not sure, but is it the Jelnook Alderson roundabout? Is that the 2026 project?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, how that's gonna affect with people coming in. I mean, during the week, I know it was mentioned at the village board meeting, during the week, it might not necessarily be a big deal on Tuesdays, but come Saturdays, if you have all those extra ball diamonds running, plus the farmer's market, plus a nice day in the water park, I think a lot of those places are gonna be affected. The other question is during the board meeting, it was mentioned about the farmer's market wasn't gonna be here because of concern, I think, with the grass or something here. So that's still gonna be a problem when you go to the farmer's market. So do we have a plan for the aesthetic value? I know it's a temporary location, but how is that gonna wear on the grass? Are you bringing sand in or dirt, or how is that gonna be with people parking in? So you have the vendors coming into park, plus people coming into park, and then you can't park on 2 roads. You're gonna have construction. So I'm just wondering, and I don't know if this is where that really is attested to, but I figured you guys are Park and Rec. You guys are gonna know. So those are my biggest questions with that. I didn't know really whose purview it fell underneath. So, and then I know it's not really finalized, but when people come in, and you guys, I think next year are working with setting up the tournaments, the ball diamond tournaments for that Kennedy Park project, are there gonna be times for the lights where they have to shut off at night after say 10, or games starting after 7 or 8 in the morning? Because those homes around there, I mean, obviously the ball diamonds are loud because that's what a ball diamond is, it's loud. But there's been some games that I think have started 7 or 8 on a Sunday. So I'm wondering when you guys are starting to set up those tournaments, if that can be kind of kept into consideration. So that's all I had on the community park, but that was my question. I just didn't know where to go, and I figured you guys are Park and Rec, so it's a good place to start. So
Okay.
Thanks.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Is there anybody else for public comment? All right, anybody online for public comment?
There's one person online, but they did not come off mute.
Okay, any written communications? All right, educational presentations and reports. Item number 7, update on the Kennedy Park renovation and capital campaign.
So there is a RFC in the packet, gives update on the renovation project, capital campaign, but we also have members in the audience that can give you a more recent update on the campaign. As far as the renovation portion, they are pretty close to finishing up fencing on both fields right now. I think I reported on that the sod's complete. They're waiting on the structural steel. Still didn't have an answer on Thursday when we met with them as far as when that was going to show up for sure. Irrigation is complete. Like I said, the sod, the turf is complete, warning track material. They're working on exterior landscaping around the rest of it right now. Electricity is supposed to come on Wednesday this week. So then they should be able to fire up the lights, scoreboards, so we can test those. And they requested that we meet with them in person this week, Thursday, to go over like punch list of items that need to be complete. Just had a couple concerns today with the fencing over at the pool. And then the restoration inside there along the new fence, which I have contacted the general contractor on that too, to address those items, just to make sure they don't get overlooked because they're not huge items. We do have a small irrigation leak, but we are watering the sod. And we're gonna push that as long as we possibly can until we get one of those nights where we just can't anymore. And it'll literally take us a day to winterize all the irrigation, so it's not like it's gonna take us a week to do that. So we still have both on Schofield Avenue winterized too, and then the bathrooms have been open still at Kennedy and Caluland just due to the projects taking place, so. And there are some pictures included, which are courtesy of our electrical inspector over there. As of last week, Tuesday, when you shot the drone footage.
I think it was Thursday last week. Yeah, it was Thursday.
So, and
I can speak to the campaign if you'd like me to.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks for coming in.
Jimmy Olafson, 5503 Windy Creek Drive, Weston. So we sent a couple of notes ahead of time to Jamie, but just want to run through a handful of things that we're working on right now. Let's see. First of all, the payout to PGA, I don't know if that has been confirmed, if you guys received that receipt yet. We were working with Foundation last week.
I didn't see anything from the community foundation yet,
Okay.
as far as that they complete the payment to PGA, but I know that they were in the process of cutting that, the $500,000 check from the Reject family to PGA for that portion of the project, so,
Funds were received at the foundation.
yes, so,
And shout out to them. Thank you for.
yes.
Yes, and a public thank you would be extremely nice, I think, in that situation right now. We did receive $5,000 from the Marathon County Parks and Rec Foundation towards the project, but they also requested proof to have specific funding on the phase of the project that we're working on right now. So we're trying to get them that information so they feel comfortable on what exactly that part of the funding will go to. We have a handful of other grants that are out there right now. We're checking on those, the status of those. The ask letters did go out to our preferred partners about 2 or 3 weeks ago. We're following up with that. We've had a handful of conversations with some of those select businesses that have been more supportive of Everest baseball in the past. So that has been moving forward. The biggest step forward we have, we talked a little bit about our Glow Games, our first real event, fundraising event for Kennedy Park. February 28th, it will be held inside the Turf Turner facility. We're looking for wiffle ball games, any other adult games like bean bags or those types of things. We'll have raffle baskets. We'll have other games for kids. We'll have a home run derby. And that will be a one night black light, glow in the dark tournament. Hopefully a lot of fun for everybody. That is being double branded as like Glow Games for the wiffle ball games, but also a Lights for Braden. So in reference to the freshman that we lost this past year, and in concert with his family that has been very supportive of youth baseball in the past. They're very hopeful and they want football, creating more opportunities for baseball in the future. And we think since the next step we're moving towards is lights for field two, lights for Brandon makes a lot of sense in our conversations with some of the donors. So we'll have up to 24 teams, all ages, 9 to 99, raffles, prizes, all kinds of fun things going on. So please mark your calendar. We'll keep getting information out. We just confirmed our insurance for the event, so we really haven't blasted it out to anybody yet. We're just starting to do that right now. So Merrill Iron and Steel has committed to $30,000 to be our main sponsor for that event. So again, a big thank you to them. And they'll be the premier sponsor for there. Let's see what else here. We handed out information, or we had information about the project. As our kids walked in the homecoming parade, we had a big banner and a big poster in the homecoming parade, and we did answer several questions. It has been very interesting seeing people around the project too, and I just wanted to share a couple quick stories if you guys have a minute. Mark Simon is synonymous with Everest baseball. He was the baseball coach at Everest for a lot of years. His son stopped in to take a look, and he was walking around the field with Mark's grandson. And I know Mike very well, and he just happened to be there at the same time. So it was fun being able to tell Mike Simon how Everest baseball is moving forward and having his support and him being, just saying it's amazing what we've been able to do here and bringing him up to speed on what was going on. Also, just being around the park, there's been other people walking through, taking peeks. I saw a young family here there the other day. Again, they live like a block away, so they've said it's been very interesting watching the project, but they also have a 3-year-old little boy. So Dad was especially excited about the opportunity for his boy to be playing there in a few years. So he was running around on the turf, and that was a cute opportunity as well too. So so I think some of those conversations within the community have been going very well. So any other questions, concerns right now, or?
We got nothing other than, after our last conversation, I found your Facebook page and saw some of the updates that have been getting put on there for like videos and things. And I think that's awesome to share that with the community. So I appreciate you guys doing that.
Great. Thanks.
Anything else in Kennedy Park? All right. And
I mean, I guess there wasn't the question, I guess, about lights. Do the aquatic center lights go off at a certain time, or are those on all night long?
They're usually programmed, and we only have one security light that's on like all night long, but we don't turn the other lights on unless there's a group there.
Sure, okay. So I know like, even like across the street, the baseball field, they generally have games there at night too. And I think those usually go until 11 o'clock-ish or so. I wouldn't imagine that these games would go much past that either. But I don't know if that's something we want to write into a policy at some point, or, look at timing limitations of that, but.
I
If
think,
there's a game at Steam, how long does that usually go till?
10:30-ish, 11.
I mean, that's the game, so I don't know when the lights actually go off, if that's,
sometimes it's a lot later than that because there's cleaner.
yeah.
I think we should look too at the lighting pattern that those are generating. I think most of the lighting is going down.
Yeah.
For night sky friendly anyhow. Right.
Yeah, I know we have the. Scott, I'm thinking of the light sheet, what's that called, the foot candles, anywho,
I'm missing the keyword too.
but I know there's not a lot of scatter, and these two fields are internal into the park, they're not on the outskirts where they are next to a road too, so. But if there is a time constraint Jimmy, do you know how long, like when a Merchants or a Junior Legion games during the summer, those 11:30 midnight usually?
It can go into 11:30. We always try to shut those lights off as soon as we can, just to,
Yeah,
sometimes those games get pretty. I know the youth games would get past, 10 o'clock very often.
yeah,
That's pretty late even for 11 and 12-year-olds.
yeah. Okay.
The photometrics, is that the word?
Yeah.
Photometrics, there we go.
No wonder you're the administrator.
You chat GPT open over there.
What is it
I was
called?
just gonna say light pollution,
Yeah,
right?
and then that northeast corner of the park where the farmer's market's gonna be temporarily next year, that's gonna be part of the eventual further construction of
There's another, yeah,
phase.
Yeah.
there's a large, I guess one of the big baseball fields that'd be essentially the outfield of a big field in the future.
And I know we've had some conversations about just kind of monitoring that next year to make sure that the farmer's market isn't eating that up.
Yeah,
But it's pretty sandy soil, so hopefully it's not, muddy or anything like that, but you can
Yeah,
just monitor it.
Yeah, and we have not seen any problems. I mean, I've been with the village over 25 years and the only time you would run into issues is if they want to get out there like so early in spring during the thaw and the rains, then it's a problem. That's usually April-ish, so, once you get into May, baseball starts full swing, we usually don't see any issues with the grass out there. It's got good drainage. It's gonna get wet, it's gonna be at the far north end, because it all pitches that way.
All right. Thank you. Item number 8, update on improvements at Yellow Bank's launch.
So there is a RFC in the packet, along with some pictures. If you haven't been there or had the chance to stop by, the dock's in. Literally during installation, before it was even complete, we had people fishing on it. If they were enjoying it, Jess asked permission before she took pictures of actual people out there, but the installers were out there too. But as you can see, the view is tremendous too. Nice sunny, peaceful day out there on the water. And Jamie and I were there and met with the Kiwanis 2 weeks ago tomorrow, right?
probably, yeah.
To do a large check presentation for their donation towards the project. And we had probably close to a dozen people standing on the dock. We didn't sink.
No concerns.
And they love the fact that it was a double entrance. So you could go in and out both sides, not just single sided. And they can't wait to start using it.
It will be taken out though shortly.
Yes.
Yeah, it's gotta go on the bank.
I didn't say that. He says, no problem.
You don't want to
I
leave
got
it there
some
for the spring floods.
No, she was there during the installation and knows exactly what needs to be done to pull it out, so.
Any questions? All right, item number 9, update on Yellow Bank's disc golf course.
So we are making a little progress on that. The mats were actually scheduled to be delivered today for crossing the pipeline. And I was just informed before the meeting that the truck broke down on the way here. So they basically hauled that back and will be delivering the mats tomorrow. So we had prearranged with street department to have a loader with forks to unload. And if you see them, they will be sitting outside the well house, south of 7 and 8 well house.
Yep.
Tomorrow, as long as we don't run into any other issues with that, so. And I know Jess has reached out to Crystal Finishing again on the baskets, just waiting for confirmation on the color. And if there's been any price change since we initially contacted them in the spring. So, but once we get the mats, at least we'll have the opportunity to go out there and work any time of the year with any piece of equipment. Get the brushing completed, et cetera. So.
Any questions? All right, item number 10, update on Aquatic Center 2025 season and improvements.
So this was a discussion at our last meeting as far as where things stood as far as the pool budget. We still don't have final numbers yet. We're gonna have expenses through the end of the year, obviously with utilities, et cetera. And then we also had some revenues that had not come in yet as far as payment from sessions. So they're not wholly year-end stuff. This is through the end of September, so there will still be some changes to it, et cetera. The year was not bad, but as you see our expenses, and I noted in the RFC that our expenses were high on some extent for maintenance. We were a little over on the outside contract services, which is basically the YMCA, which covers all our administration fees and then all the wages for the staff for the season. We budgeted, and we weren't over by much, but we were over. Yeah, we budgeted 143 and we were at 145 for outside services. And as you know, I mean, your biggest expense is labor, so. Our admin fee, we just signed a new contract with the Y for the next 3 years, which they upped at 5%, which you guys approved at the last meeting. So. And as far as improvements at the aquatic center, so we do have a contract with Newman Pools for them to come in and do some maintenance, possibly over the winter. They're pretty booked for the spring. So they will be in there either this winter or next fall, depending on scheduling purposes. They are booked through the spring. So we're hoping they can get in yet this fall, this winter. We'll still be able to operate next year regardless, but we would prefer that they come in obviously prior to the season. So otherwise it would be pushed to next fall after close. So. And that contract is for 73,000, 72. From 72,000.
It's in the low 70s.
Yeah.
Any questions?
I do have a couple questions. So the swim lessons, I was surprised when I was looking at the numbers that they were down this year, because I thought they were full. And then, down compared to last year anyways. I didn't go back and look at any other numbers. And then, and to piggyback on that question, have we thought about, how we're going to do swim lessons next year if Schofield Rothschild is closed? Like, because I know they did evening lessons, I think. We did daytime and they do evening, and so I wondered if we had thought about doing evening classes.
I mean, we don't know what they're doing.
Okay.
We're in discussions with them yet still. They do lessons, but that's when they're open to the public. They do it well open to the public.
Oh,
So they don't close their facility for it.
oh,
So it's completely different than what we're doing.
okay,
They literally start them at 6, but the facility is open and running when they're doing it. So they not have a huge,
oh, interesting,
they not have a huge group like we do.
yeah,
And you know, we're doing 5 levels, at least 8 kids per level. So we're doing 40 kids at a time.
yeah,
Well, you can't hear instructions from your swim teacher with all the other background noise. I mean, we have music going.
right,
If you're at the pool, it's loud. Like you can't even hear.
yeah, right,
I couldn't talk to you.
Right.
It's so loud.
Yeah.
So, so our year to date actual was 3664. We budgeted 4,000. Yes, we were down a little bit from last year, which we budgeted 3,500. I mean,
I know.
went up
and
to
we
45, 72. So
that one out of the
a
water.
lot of it,
last
like
year.
I think I stated at the last meeting, is the August session is the most popular because of summer school. So
Oh.
June and July sessions are both during summer school. So they can't make that 10 o'clock start.
Mhm.
So August always fills up. We've pared it down. We used to do a 9 o'clock session and a 10 o'clock session. And we did that for all three. But the 9 o'clock session was not very popular because it was still very cold.
Oh, yeah.
So, and we still limit the ages too, because it's too cold for the really young kids. So 5 and up, otherwise they're turning purple. And they don't enjoy swim lessons.
Right.
So that's why you go to the Y and do the indoor lessons where the water's nice and warm. So,
Right.
we've looked at that. We know that we can make money doing swim lessons.
Mhm.
But is it time to adjust our hours so we can do more? You know, if you look at some of the stuff I included from other facilities, you know, some don't open till noon.
Mhm.
So do you want to run at 10, 11? I mean, you know, we've adjusted our hours over the years. You've been here long enough to know we've changed it. Sundays, we open at 1 instead of 11. We went from 8 o'clock at night to 7 o'clock at night. So we've been adjusting our hours to accommodate the increase in wages, obviously, but also trimming our amount of open hours to some extent, because you can't just lose money because nobody's there either. So.
Fair point. And then my other question was, why was the electricity so much higher this year? And that's a huge, I don't know, like, that may be a dumb question, but like, did electricity rates go up that much? I mean, I can tell you at my house, my bill went up a lot over the last year. And so this might be just the natural cause of that. I just wondered, or like, are we losing money on some piece of equipment that we don't know is malfunctioning? I mean, it's a big, and I don't mean to put you on the spot. If, I don't expect you to necessarily have an answer, but that's like off, just off the top of your head, but that's a big jump that obviously we didn't budget for.
It is a huge jump. And part of it might be because we actually filled the pool earlier.
I was gonna say we filled at least a good week earlier.
Yeah, than we typically do, because, you know, we've ran into problems in the past by starting up like a week before we open, and then we're mad dash to fix the fire drill,
Right.
you know? So we did start it up early this year. So we did have an additional cost because we were running, but we weren't running the slides, we weren't running the play structure, but we were running the main motor, which is 40-horse electric motor. And we were running it 24/7. So that was up and running longer than we typically would have had that going. Along with pool heaters, chemical pumps. So we were using more electricity for those 2 weeks prior to us opening. So it might not accommodate for that,
All of
but
it,
if you
yeah,
see what
some
our,
of it.
if you see what our cost is per day in electricity, if you take the 18,000 divided by 79-day season, you'll see exactly what it costs us to operate per day for electricity. So. And that's what our season was, 79 days this year.
We still get a base fee though, all year round. Would just be. the
We get a base fee year round, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, we'll still have more costs
Yeah, right.
this year. Plus we still have exit lights on.
Yeah.
Minimal use. I mean, we are up in our Jeff's up there today. I mean, so she turns the lights on. We're gonna have some expense on that, but we're not running anything major at this point. Everything's been shut down, but. The other part about it, you see to some extent, is the timing of the bills. So if you see the natural gas,
Yeah, I know. I like that number.
3,900, yeah, we budgeted 15,000. That's a good
Right.
number,
Right.
but you know, unfortunately, the bills come at,
Yeah, right.
I mean, you think,
Not convenient times for me to do my budget analysis on this project.
Yes, like if they came monthly, you would have a more accurate
Right.
cost. But our huge cost is 3 months. And the rest of the year is typically
Very
minimal,
minimal, right?
so.
Any other questions? Right, we'll jump to policy issues, discussions, recommendations. Item number 11, discussion and or possible action on 2026 aquatic center prices.
So this was a request that came out of last meeting to discuss the prices of that we charge the aquatic center. Just due to, I mean, we know it's a great value. You go swimming for 8 hours for $5. It's a very good deal. You know, where else are you gonna go for 8 hours? Having for an amusement type product that costs $5 a person. And then the season pass prices. So I did include Marshfield, which is Van de Hay Waters. I included Oshkosh, Pollock, and then I included Wisconsin Rapids. And those facilities, Marshfield, Wisconsin Rapids, and Oshkosh are all newer facilities than ours. I tried to look for the beer stuff from Merrill, but I couldn't find anything online as far as. And and you'll probably find it right away, yes, I know. I'm not saying I'm great at it. I'm just saying I did look.
I made myself my own little spreadsheet.
You can share it.
I could, but they really didn't. Merrill is $5 a day. And $3 for seniors. So they were right, kind of in line with where we are. Nothing super exciting with the other polls that I look at.
Well, and the other part is, which I just went through training, and they say bookmarking is really a bad idea. So comparing yourself to other facilities, you're counting on that they did their job correctly
Right.
to offset their costs.
Right.
So you think they did it correctly, or you just expect they did it and then you're gonna follow their prices because they did it correctly?
Right.
Not necessarily true. I mean, I just went through this training and that was one of the biggest things. They said, do not compare yourself to other facilities because they didn't do the math right, then you don't know though.
Yeah, there are so many variables when it comes to pools, I have to say. Just in the looking that I did was Merrill's pools proposed a lot, either because they didn't have staff, they didn't have patrons, or because of the weather. Which is, I mean, compared to us, they were closed a lot more. And they also close for special events, and they have senior swim times and toddler Tuesdays and a lot of stuff that affects their numbers in particular. I thought, I mean, they're running their pools is like it is a full-time job in itself. It must be. Because of all the special things that they have going on. So I can really get behind that comment that looking at other people just at their pricing isn't necessarily a good way to determine what our pricing should be. There's a lot of variables that would play into it.
And we spent a lot of years where we had a statewide pool survey. So you could compare prices for, you know, what people were charged, but also had lifeguard staffing costs, et cetera. So you could look throughout the state and gave you some idea where you could compare it, you know, pretty widely amongst the state. But of course, central Wisconsin is a little bit different than the Valley or, you know, Milwaukee, Madison, et cetera. So it's just one of those things we did look at. We've always looked at it just for a comparison purposes, just because you want to see what others are doing, regardless if you're trying to match prices or whatever you're trying to. But we haven't adjusted the prices for a while. And we literally, when we made our partnership with Rothschild Schofield, is when we like set our prices so they were both the same. And they're feeling the effects of not matching some of our prices, so they started charging for seniors last year, which were free before. They also started charging for children at age 1, which they weren't doing either, because they asked us to like get rid of those prices, but we had $3,000 in revenue from seniors that year. So how do you like get rid of that revenue stream when you know we're losing money every year. regardless.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, you wanna be competitive and you wanna obviously get people to come to your facility, but you can't necessarily lose more than you should. So, birthday party packages, that one's way off the board. Like, I don't even know where to go with it. We just increased prices on that though. A couple of years ago, just food costs. Food costs went up. So we increased that to $8 a person instead of $7. And if you read the one from Oshkosh, I mean, they're getting a great deal by us.
Mhm.
But that price is mostly set by our concession operator. Cause we get $3 of that, they get $5. Party package.
I think it's still super cheap. I mean, if I were in the birthday, if I had kids that age, anyways, I mean, I think that is just an amazing deal, cause I'd be hard pressed to feed kids and entertain them at that price. At home, you know, so I think they could increase prices there too. But
If we moved to a resident and a non-resident rate, do we have a way to verify resident versus non-resident? Either with the YMCA or like how, if we did that, do we have a means?
So we have done that before. We got rid of it because it was literally like, give me your address, and I'll go look at a map. That's literally what you do. I mean, yes, we could do it on Google Maps or whatever, just enter the address, but anybody can give you their address. Doesn't mean they necessarily live there. So it's not a perfect system regardless. And 90% of our clientele are kids. They're not gonna have an ID, so you can't ask for an ID to verify a residency. And then if, say, we would join with Rothschild Schofield, then we would need to incorporate additional communities into it, because we already allow the town too, so literally it would be incorporating that. As far as, and this is going beyond pricing, but as far as residency, non-residency for season passes, that's a different story. Because our system, our software system, Sportsman, works off GIS. So literally Nate will go in there and draw the perimeter of the communities that we want included as residents. And they can go online and buy a pass if they're within that mapping. And almost all of our passes are sold online. The daily stuff, it's tricky. We literally had a map on the wall and then people would look at it. And then we got rid of it and went to a straight rate. We also tried to eliminate, $5.25, $5.50. So you're dealing with change all the time. So it was an even dollar amount. So I'm not suggesting you have to go to like $6, but it definitely makes it easier.
way easier, yeah.
When you're ringing people up quickly, when you're doing 400, 500, 600 people a day, straight dollar amounts works
Yeah.
easier.
That's easier.
Yeah, so I thought it was interesting that Wisconsin Rapids, they double their season rates for non-resident family individual seniors. And that makes it really pretty expensive. So I'm, not that we would ever know, but I'm curious how well they do selling passes for non-residents at that rate. But I kind of, I kind of understand it. They have a nice facility now. And the non-residents are not paying into the tax base that's maintaining that pool, so like I can justify that, but
Did you see how many communities are included in there?
no, I didn't.
It's not just Wisconsin
I
Rapids.
assume it's some of the
It's
smaller.
all the smaller communities too.
Yeah.
They list all the communities that are included in it. And it is a newer facility opened in
Yeah,
2020,
great.
or opened during COVID. I talked with them weekly. their first season, and we were the only ones open in the whole area, besides us and them.
Yeah,
Nobody else is open. So I got to know them quite well that year. But they started out with basically a blank slate 5 years ago. Brand new facility, and are they doing the math right?
right.
And they have 3 bodies of water.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's hard to compare a lot of these facilities anyways, because they're, the size wise, they're not necessarily the same either. I mean, Merrill is priced the same as us essentially, but they're half the size, I think. I think there's 7,000 square feet I read somewhere. Maybe, or what is our pool size?
13,565.
Okay, I thought it was 15, so close enough.
Ask Jess, she just came back from
I
class.
didn't figure
She
that.
just came back from class last Thursday, so.
And do we know, has Rothschild Schofield made a determination on what they're doing yet?
No, the city has talked about it at their meeting. I think they're just weighing options.
Yeah. If we change our prices, do they, I don't know what the agreement says, I don't remember.
We don't have a signed agreement as far as prices. It was
So we could increase our prices.
it was literally,
Yes. Yes.
we met with them. We agreed that we would be comparable
Yeah,
instead of,
competing against.
competing against each other. So they never ran swim lessons before. They did water aerobics. And then 2 years ago, they decided to add night lessons, but they're like, we're not competing with you because you do daytime lessons. So, and we held the water aerobics for them for the last week of the season, right? This year?
Yes.
And they paid $2 a person or $3 a person. So,
But even if we entered into an agreement with them, we'd still set our prices. That would be part of our agreement, that we would still make those decisions for the pool. I think they do have some feeling too, that they understand that if we didn't enter an agreement, we know that there would be increased usage of the pool, which may mean an increased rate and may mean a resident and non-resident rate.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, right. I think it's easy to do the resident, non-resident rate for the season pass. To do it in the moment is not realistic, I don't think. I mean, does anybody think that trying to verify addresses of people is in the moment is realistic? I don't.
Especially around here, it's very difficult. I mean, you can live on Nick Avenue in the village of Cronewater, but have a Weston address.
Right.
Yeah. And there's plenty of examples of that
Mhm.
around the area. So without having, a GIS map or something to give an actual, and then, a kid can just walk up and be like, I live over here. Or they don't even know their address, so.
You get grandma's address that lives. in
Yeah. I mean,
and if going back to what we were talking about before, the budget. So we did $10,827 in joint memberships. That's Weston and Rothschild Schofield this year. And the village itself only was 15,588 for Weston only memberships. So we're selling more Weston only than we are joint, regardless if you're getting 2 facilities, and we're charging more because you're getting both facilities. So, I mean, that should factor in any discussions as far as where you would set your prices, because the joint ones are not selling quite as good as the Weston only ones. So the resident, non-resident discussion comes into play. So if we would consider Rothschild Schofield residents for the season pass sales with that, they're only getting 1 facility at that point though. So, I mean, we do have time. We don't have to set rates tonight. Obviously, but we had to get the discussion going Because Katrina brought it up at the last meeting.
You.
Sorry.
No.
Created work.
No, I agree, it needed to take place.
It's
It
been-
needed to take place.
It's been a
It
long
does.
time since we've talked about rates and like everything else, I mean, it costs so much more to run everything. We're
Go to the
gonna have-
movies, go to the trampoline park,
Oh, yes,
you know,
right.
wherever you're taking a kid. Can't walk out the door and spend less than $100.
We're gonna have an influx for, a lot of people do the season pass as a Christmas gift too. So
Yeah,
if we would make a change for the next year and we would put it in place, we get a big influx of people that give that as the Christmas gift.
That was
Yeah.
gonna be my next question is, I guess, when do we start making sales related to next?
Typically, we set it up to start around December 1st. We haven't typically sold a ton. Actually, I believe Rothschild Schofield sold more for Christmas than we have in the past.
They use our same sportsman, that's how we know that, and then we just charge them back for utilizing the same software that we use.
Yeah, I guess just from my perspective, some things that I think I would like to know is, I understand we may need to make decisions without having an answer, but it would be nice to know more from Rothschild and Schofield and the reason I say that is because part of that conversation was that they may contribute toward our costs. And if they're contributing toward our costs, then that may impact how much we need to raise our costs, because it might be, oh, well, let's raise this $2 a person, but if we're getting, just hypothetically, 25,000 from these other communities, well, maybe we only need $1 increase or something. So that's something that I think is kind of an important thing to think about.
Well, the original, what we started out as a contract or a proposed contract was $3 per capita, correct? So $3 per capita for Schofield, $3 for Rothschild, which comes to around 25,000 in revenue from them. Which would obviously offset our operations. On top of the additional increase in people, which is additional
Right.
cost.
Yeah.
First time, right?
Because if you have 400 people in the pool compared to 700 people in the pool, chemicals, everything. It's pricey.
And we only had one day this year where we maxed out. If I remember.
One day, yes, one day. They were in the parking lot for a long time.
In a kiddie pool?
Yeah.
Sean, are you able to give us numbers like what are the sales of like the individual day passes versus the season passes?
I can.
I don't know that you need to do it right at this moment, but.
No, I can get you a breakdown from Sportsman. I mean, we did $197,547 daily passes this year.
So daily, okay, so,
Daily is $5 per person.
so that's where we're making a
The
majority.
majority of our funds come from daily. But if you want a full breakdown, I can run you so many different reports from Sportsman.
I'm sure you can.
That you would be
I don't know
like,
that we
and
need-
I love that information. I absolutely love it.
Yeah,
Because if you could see it, then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just giving you a big number here. It doesn't tell you which one's which, though. You know what I mean?
right.
It could be a senior citizen, it could be a regular one, it could be a non-swimmer. It's just all daily.
Yeah. So just a couple other things for the rest of the committee members that I noticed when I put this into my little spreadsheets, because I need a visual like layout so I can compare directly. Seniors are all over the board we are low at $25 for a pass, a season pass for seniors. It goes all the way up to $70. And then Wisconsin Rapids gives a discount for veterans and their families for season passes, which I thought was interesting. Maybe something that we could consider. I don't want to get like too into the weeds. Like there's some of these places have such a crazy pricing structure that it's like I don't know how they keep track of it. And WASA breaks down their youth 17 and under, and then there's adults, and then there's seniors. So I like the simplicity of our structure at this point. I don't want to make it more complicated, I guess, but, if you go, so a family of four, whether it's, do we specify, does it have to be 2 adults and 2 kids, or can it be 1 adult and 3 kids?
Or
or-
5 actually.
Oh, for 5. Oh, great. So you have to visit the park, what, 4, 5 times?
Yeah, at least 5.
5 times to make your pass worth it, your season pass. After that, then, you know, you're making money, so to speak. Do we know how many repeat, like, do we have how many repeat customers we have?
Only on season
Season
passes.
passes?
Cause we don't get their
Oh, we
name,
don't take their names when they do daily passes.
but on season passes, I can literally tell you who the number 1 customer is and the number 2. And I can actually tell you their names, right,
What?
right
We don't
now.
need their names. No, we don't need their names.
Michael probably knows who it is, at least one of them, she knows both of them. Cause literally, when you're open 79 days and one of them's there 75, and he's sitting in the parking lot usually an hour before we open.
Waiting. I guess that might be a useful piece of information too to have is, you know,
Repeat.
yeah, repeat customers on the season passes. Are we losing a lot of money there potentially because of where it's priced versus how many times they come visit? Or, you know,
No,
can we?
typically we are making money on our season passes.
Okay,
But in the past, we did a lot of promoting people from the previous year to buy again
yeah,
next year. Which we stopped doing. Once we went online, it made it so much easier, because literally you just send out a reminder email and they get it. But we used to do pamphlets and we used to, you know, through the school district and send them to all the schools, WASP schools, ever schools. But you know, our max passes that we sold in one season was just under 700. Now we're at like 300-ish per year, 350 on a very good year. 21 was good, 22 was good, 23 was good, 24 started to slow down. I mean, post-COVID, like we were doing really well. But our top year was 2002, 2003, I think we did almost 700 season passes.
yeah, we were brand new then.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Now we're 27 years old.
And I can tell you, just as somebody who's done this over the years with my kids, like, even though I might only buy a season pass and go 5 or 6 times, I certainly spend a lot in concessions for my kids while I'm there, so
Yeah.
I might show up and drop another 20 while I'm there, but yeah,
I mean, if you're comparing us to Wassa, they just increased their prices. They're increasing them for next year, I should say.
They also
They're
talked
gonna be
about
charging,
shutting
they're gonna
down.
be, you're gonna be charging the same amount we charge.
Yeah,
Have you been to their facilities? It's
No.
not the same facility. You know, that's the other part. You can't
Right.
compare. All 3 of their pools are way smaller than ours.
right.
They don't offer what we offer for concessions. They don't offer the slides, you know, the features we offer, but they're charging the same amount.
They're not gonna do the rotation though. I think they talked about it, but that didn't happen.
I think last I heard they found funding that they're gonna use to offset.
Yeah, right now they close 1 pool per week on a Wednesday for maintenance. That was a new thing they started. They enjoyed having that one day down to do maintenance, extra maintenance. So they closed Schulenburg on this Wednesday, Kaiser, and then Memorial. So every Wednesday, one of their pools is closed.
That helped with their staffing costs as well.
Helps with staffing costs, obviously, yes, but they also open later than us and close like a lot earlier.
Yeah.
They budget for, I believe, to be open 8 weeks. And it doesn't matter, it's 8 weeks. You're not changing it. It could be 100 degrees out. They're not changing it. Where we've done, it's gonna be 100 degrees. Let's see if we can stay open like 2 or 3 months. You know?
Till they go back to school.
Yeah. And we have no staff then.
Yeah.
So you want to think on it? You want some reports ran from sportsmen?
Yeah, I mean, just for me, I'd like to, I guess,
I'll get you a breakdown literally on senior citizens, regular dailies, non-swimmers.
Yeah, that's the one I'd like to.
We can break that all apart. And I could do it quite easily, actually.
Yeah,
And then if we do have any, I mean, it's hard to know, but if we do have any updates from Rothschild Schofield as far as where their conversation is going, obviously, we're gonna have to make a decision regardless as we get closer to December, but
yeah.
Wait.
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, potentially too, I mean, we can, if we're not, we don't have to necessarily raise all the rates, so if you just looked at doing maybe the daily rate this year. Pending, you know, the season passes being negotiated with the, are you resident, non-resident? That could happen, you know, next year, there's nothing that says we have to do it all at once. You know, we could do it in steps. And we charge for non-swimmers, right? $2.
What's considered a non-swimmer?
So like, if you're a grandparent and you bring grandkids, but you're never gonna go in the water.
Oh,
We didn't charge for them in the past, or we charged them, we charged before.
Yeah.
So we introduced a non-swimmer rate a couple of years ago, just because. There are people that literally do not even enter the water. Like, they literally show up, they're not dressed to even go in the pool for sure. So we reduced the rate so they could go in, but we're selling a ton of now. You know, but we were competing with Rothschild, we didn't charge nothing for senior citizens. They're like, well, I can go to Rothschild and swim for free. Okay,
you can.
I can, but so they do charge now. I mean, they've been working with the Y, I talk with the Y all the time, like, we offered them lots of options to increase the revenues. Swim lessons is one, charging for seniors, charging for children, you know, over one. Where they were not making any money before. And you're not gonna cover your costs. I hate to
Right,
say
you
it.
just wanna make the hole smaller.
not as deep, right?
A little bit.
So yeah, so if you would get us some more information, I guess. Then we can,
You said Beerman's how much?
parse out some.
Did you find it? Did you find it, Meryl?
Is that fine?
Meryl, I don't have a season pass. Their link is literally disconnected, like it doesn't work. But
Yeah, I told you, I tried.
their individual, their
It's
daily
$5.
pass is 5 and seniors are 3.
I can call Dan.
Yeah,
He's the parks director up there. So,
and I even looked at Chippewa Falls, cause they're similar sized to us, I mean, population wise.
okay.
Like that was super hard to find any information on as well. Couldn't even find a Facebook page for them, for the pool. But their individual daily rate is $5 and they charge $5 for non-swimmers as well. So if you're walking through the door, it's $5. But I also think it looks like they may have some kind of partnership with the county parks running their pool system. I'm not sure. It was,
So this is way off the wall, but so I know of 2 pools that are identical to ours. Built by the same company, designed by the same company.
where are they?
One's in Cedarburg
Okay.
and one's in East Minnesota. So literally offering the same thing, except for we do have a round slide that was added in 2010, which they would not have. But the same facilities, same play structures, same slides, same design pool.
Different communities.
Yeah.
Different communities, there you go. So,
Well, Steve.
I mean,
Wealthy ones.
but if you're
Yeah,
comparing pools,
yeah, right.
Right.
it's a possibility, I can look at
That would be interesting. Don't go too far down that rabbit hole. but that would be
it,
interesting.
I'll send you down it, no clue.
You can, absolutely.
All right, did anybody else have any questions or things you'd like to see back for next month? Do you want a motion on this or just? Okay. Right. Is good.
You can defer if you wanna make a motion on it,
I don't think so.
but we don't need to.
We'll bring it back. All right. Item number 12, discussion and or possible action, mock Mueller concerts and improvements and or.
So we've had some discussions among staff, at least some committee members, as far as the concerts this past summer at Mock Miller. We had 9 weeks of concerts, acoustic. For the ones that attended, I think we all enjoyed it. We also was at Concert Park, somebody else I saw there. But as far as Mock Miller's location, we don't feel like we should move it. Like, yes, you could probably draw more people if you moved it to Kennedy because, you know, we did 1,000 people for Concert Park. But the setting at Mock Miller for the Tuesday night concerts, we believe was a great location.
It was also where the organizer picked, right? Like we didn't, he paid for all of the artists, he organized all of the artists, he organized all of the food trucks, and that's where he wanted. So that's what we gave him.
Yeah, and we've talked to him about it too. Like he asked, we thought he should move it or do something different for next year. And for the people that were there, I believe Mock Miller's the location.
Mhm.
And then the discussion came up, you know, since the pickleball discussion is kind of gone away at this point, is there gonna be additional development at Mock Miller? I think Mike said 28, 29, that's when the water and sewer is scheduled to go through the north end,
2028.
28. So there still will be a water and sewer extension on the north side of the park. So if you've been around long enough, you understand why the bathrooms are so far away from the shelter and baseball fields, because there's no sewer in Quinton Street till you get up to about the first house going to the west. So literally we have a grinder pump lift station behind the bathroom that pumps the sewage 700 plus feet through a little 1.5-inch pipe. Because we couldn't move it any farther without upgrading it to like a full-on lift station. So we have a small grinder pump and lift station right behind the bathroom that we pull out every year. So we've always talked about when sewer and water go through the north end, we'd have the opportunity to maybe construct another restaurant facility on that north end. And the other part is it has become our most popular park for park rentals. So without the addition of pickleball to the park, would we still want to look at an additional shelter restroom on the north end of the park, which would be closer in proximity to baseball fields? And then we could accommodate more rentals too. We only have one other park that has 2 shelters for rent right now, and that's Yellow Banks. And Yellow Banks has portable toilets. Flush restrooms are key typically for rentals. I mean, Yellow Banks has been popular in the past. And we got rid of the pit toilets in 2021. And those were built in the 60s. So, you know, is that one of the directions we want to go for, you know, CIP capital improvement project, this improvements at Mock Miller? Or do we want to keep that rural feel that it has right now?
I mean, I think this park will probably become even more popular. We have more housing going into that area. There's future discussions of more expansion in that area. I just think that that'll probably be
I think that's gonna grow.
important. And not only that, but yeah, these type of events that, you know, we just had this first year was really awesome there. And I agree. I think that's the perfect spot for it, for that type of.
Well, the other part is the park's gonna get a change in use.
Mhm.
Because right now we have 3 T-ball fields and we have a youth baseball field, which we know we're diverting Kennedy to drive more in one central location. So a change of use to that park is going to happen. I mean, it happened at Kennedy, it's happened at, you know, multiple parks of ours where, you know, we used to host all of DC Everest youth soccer. We used to host all of DC Everest JV and varsity soccer. And then they all moved, and then we change the use of our parks based on the need at the time. So, definitely will be a change in use out there. Is what is it though? You know, I mean, if we're gonna host performances there, do we do something to improve it, or do we like the fact that they just stand underneath the shelter and call it good? So it might be a future planning for that park. To make sure we do it right, not just plop
Right.
something in there and then 5 years from now, we're like, why did we ever do that?
I mean, I think it's too early yet to know that we wanna build a stage out there or anything. But I think like, yeah.
You could put in 50 amp power and you make food trucks happy.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
Then we don't have to listen to the generator during the performance.
Yep. Yeah.
And Scott still works here, so.
That means a discount on it going in, right?
Yes. There you go.
We do all the work and he just shows up.
It was a voluntold project.
Oh, I think just from my perspective, I think it'd be interesting to see what ideas you guys have as far as some improvements you'd like to see there. I think some reasonable improvements would be called for based off of, you know, the neighborhood is growing and the use is changing, and there's some opportunities there that have. Sounds like we're gonna do that again for this next year, the acoustic series.
She's in charge. She wants to do more events, she said. So if you don't know, Jackson has agreed to be on the tourism commission.
Oh, okay.
And he's the one that coordinated all 9 weeks this past summer, which tourism is driven by tourism.
Yep.
So it's not necessarily that, but he's out there. He's, you know, that's what he does to make a living, is he performs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean,
I don't know if it will be 9 weeks again, but he has expressed interest in doing it again.
and he asked us, we thought he should do it, if we should do it again, you know? But he took care of pretty much everything. Literally, we just showed up,
That was amazing.
you know? He got the sponsors, he booked it all of them. You know, even when he had somebody bail out, he found somebody to fill in. Yeah. You know? Some food trucks were good, some were not so good, you know? But there's plenty of them that want to come back.
Yeah, but I think the bathroom facilities there at the very least, I think is something that we should look into moving forward with, because regardless of what we think the use of the park will turn into, better bathroom facilities would be really nice.
Yeah, we do have flush bathrooms there.
You do, and they're not bad.
No,
They're not bad, but.
that's because they're the newest ones we have. Built in 2007 though.
It's not saying a whole lot.
Well, it is saying a lot, almost 20 years old.
Yeah.
So, and the way they get used. Indirectly. Jess got a story from the summer, if you really want to hear it.
You don't need to share, Justin.
At Mark Mueller.
These are recorded. You don't need to share.
No,
Yeah.
it's okay. Conversation for a different time.
December, right? Your yearly update on vandalism?
Yeah, right.
Does anybody else have any thoughts or questions? Are you looking for anything else from us on that, Sean?
Nope.
All right, then we will move on to future items. Possible next meeting date, November 24th, 2025.
Is that conflict with anybody's
Thanksgiving.
plans?
I think I'm in Canada.
We always run into the holiday issues in November and December.
You could join virtually too, depending on travel plans. Don't have to, just saying it's not.
24th is the Friday, right?
Monday.
Monday.
Monday? Oh,
I'll be here regardless.
oh yeah, I can do that. Leaving the 26th.
And more likely, we would not have one in December, because that one falls on the 22nd of December, so. We'll at least have 3 of you, okay?
Yeah, I'll be here.
All right. Topics for future meetings. We're gonna bring back discussion on pricing for the aquatic center. Was there anything else?
Possible CIP stuff.
CP stuff.
And we'll bring back, Wassa Events asked to do another concert off the square next August, so. we'll-
18th,
Yeah, it's
18th.
a Tuesday instead of a Wednesday.
August 18th.
So last year we did a recommendation from Parks because we do have some involvement of staff time.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. I think that would be, real beneficial. I mean, so that does bring up, the concern of the intersection construction that's gonna be happening next year. Do we know how we'll work around that, Michael?
Yeah, I mean, the middle of the roundabout's meant to be offset. I mean, I know in preliminary talks, we, internally as staff talked about, having to utilize, whether it's Park Ridge and Labrador, Joseph. I mean, there's a lot of other routes. I mean, globally, the main detour is probably gonna be to tell people to go down to Volkman to get over Highway 29 and then back to Jelnik. Local people have other opportunities to move around. We will have some work on the sanitary sewer, stormwater, water main right in the intersection, but I think then kind of looking at the layout and the way it is right now, we probably could shift traffic over and do some kind of bypasses, but I mean, the timeline is gonna be though, like school out to school begins, like the contractor will have this, that essentially June and July and early August to get the project done and, back open, so.
Something, and this might be more of a public works conversation, but something that may be interesting to look into is if we do end up closing off that intersection where we're not gonna have through traffic in there, is could we open up parking on Alderson? Since that traffic won't be as much of a concern.
Yeah, I was looking at that too, even from like the administration buildings driveway all the way to Alderson.
Right.
I mean, you could roughly do 30 parking stalls right there if you didn't want to try to parallel park. And then on Alderson Street, I see we have no parking signs. I mean, if we allowed parking, say on Saturdays only on the west side of the road, I mean, I don't know if that would be a huge issue. We could try it, or we could not try it. The road is 34 feet wide, so if people are parked on one side of the road, we should still have over 24 feet of pavement to drive on. So there's options,
Slow traffic in that area too, which would,
which won't be bad. And if you are driving into a dead end or a construction zone, it's not horrible to have people moving a little slower too. So.
Yeah, it might just be worthy of a conversation about what maybe adjustments we can make in that region, just given the change of the farmer's market. We do have the big horseshoe event next year, like just some of those things that we might be able to accommodate safely.
No, there's definitely some staging we'll have to look at to try to maintain some traffic flow, but I know like at Alderson and Weston Ave, that was shut down completely for probably a month and a half.
And that part of that length was because of issue with that one corner, right?
True, there was a utility conflict there where we couldn't,
Which kind of made it go longer than.
yeah.
All right. Sean, I just realized your report's here on the bottom, but it wasn't a listed item. Is there anything that you?
Oh, it's under remarks from staff.
Oh, okay.
That's how I usually put it.
Okay.
This remarks from staff. The only thing I would add as far as, so we did have a position open in our department. Since September, we did offer and got an accepted offer from an individual and she officially started today. So.
Welcome. Remarks from any other staff?
I always just bring up at the end of all the meetings, if you haven't already done the bike and ped survey, please do. We have a virtual meeting, a virtual listening session Wednesday this week, and then we have an open house next week, Thursday at Dale's Weston Lanes. So public is invited to either or both. And then I have the information for Harders, our transition to Harders at the first of the year. So if you don't have the information from Harders about when your waste containers will get picked up and new ones will get dropped off, I have that also. And I think it's just helpful to mention it at the end of the meetings for different people that may join us in the audience or join us online.
And
Yeah.
Jamie's been doing interviews for Kennedy Park and Yellow Banks Park and
Oh, on the news?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then she also has a meeting with the American Legion for the banner program on Schofield Avenue.
A media release, because the banners will be both for veterans this year and it'll be the Patriots Walk of Honor instead of the Veterans Walk of Honor. So if you wanted to recognize someone in the police or fire service, they could also have a banner. Cool.
That's next week,
That's this week.
this week.
Nice. Nobody buy me a banner. I don't want to see my face. I don't need to look at that.
Oh, this is happening now. You shouldn't have said it.
Put in it.
Yeah, from me. Any other remarks from staff? Remarks from committee members?
I have nothing.
Any other announcements? Great, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion, we have adjournment?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? We are adjourned at 5:17.
Thank you all.